correcting my pronunciation. Okay, now on to the meat of the matter, the substance of the matter. Dr. Nagalakshm, you have raised this case, but even before you, a BJP leader raised it with his own party leadership. What are the details we have? According to the BJP leader's letter, there are nearly 3,000 videos on a pen drive, sexually explicit. We have the complaint of one of the complainants with the police. She says that she was forced into sort of sexual acts that were then put on camera. The women include household help, but according to the BJP leader, who is a kind of whistleblower, they also included government officials. What do we know so far, ma'am?
Yeah, I get the complaint from the women activists and also from other organization, and a pen drive was submitted to me on 25th. By evening, probably by 3 o'clock, I receive all the complaints and with the pen drive. By the time even I receive some of the videos on my WhatsApp too. And then when we opened the pen drive, I couldn't watch most of the scenes or videos. We stopped it, and then immediately I decided to call the press meet, and I also. After the press meet, I wrote to the Chief Minister of Karnataka because I could sense, I was there are more than I watched like hundreds of, I couldn't watch so many videos, but I could feel there were hundreds of videos in it. Some were forced, some were threatened, and some but whatever it is illegal to record a video. That is what I could sense, and I felt, yes, I was very sensible to understand what will happen to the photos and the videos of those victims, those women, hundreds of women, their officers, whoever it is, maids, everybody in it, and then I could feel the sensitivity in it, and that's where I made it a point to write to the Chief Minister of Karnataka to hand it over to SIT. And then after 3 days, I get a victim sent the complaint on my WhatsApp. I think probably she got the number from somebody else, and then she sent me a complaint saying, yeah, you have already put that complaint on your media. And yes, and of in person also, I could meet. She was in tears and she was still fearful, but she want to speak up. She want to
And
stand
to
for
be
what she
clear,
is.
we are talking about multiple violations, filming on camera. We are talking about, in some instances, allegations of rape. We are talking about sexual abuse. Let's be very clear what we're talking about. And by the way, it isn't me who's saying it. It's the BJP's Deve Gowda, who in his letter said, we will be accused of aligning with the family of a rapist. This is the BJP leader's own comment. So, I want you to make it very clear, Dr. Nagalakshm, the gravity
Yeah.
of what we're talking about here, ma'am.
Yeah, that's what, the gravity of the case. You can see there are a lot of sexual harassments, rape, and forcible act, and it's been recorded. It is a reprehensible act. I felt to intimidate women for repeated sexual activities, it's been recorded. And then, yeah, I've realized the gravity of this case, and that's why I sent a letter to Chief Minister. And then, yes, today it's SIT, the investigation team. And of course, it has been led by a very senior and expert who has been already was in Gauri Lankesh case, and where he was able to arrest the accused. And he's leading this team, and the
And,
two
and,
women IPS
and, and, and,
officers.
And can I ask you, sorry to interrupt you, are these household help? Because the BJP leader who outed this is claiming they're government officials and domestic help.
Yes, yes. The maids in their house who were working are involved in it. Yeah, true.
Sanjay Hegde, Hassan and Revanna, I want to be sure I'm saying this correctly, but the more serious question is, somebody said to
Revanna.
me, okay, I'll let you,
Revanna.
Revanna and Hassan. Now, Revanna, this amounts to sexual slavery. If let's not put too fine a point on it. If these allegations are true and are proven true in a court of law, this is slavery. This is rape in some cases. This is sexual abuse. This is not a sex scandal. A sex scandal is when someone has an affair that they're not meant to be having. That's a scandal. This is, let's use our words carefully. This is rape. This is sexual abuse. This raises political questions, but this also raises more fundamentally what happens to women in this country. Sanjay Hegde, go ahead.
It raises all these questions, but speaking strictly as a lawyer, if it is without consent, and I assume that most of these are without consent, then it definitely is rape. If any of these women happen to be under the age of 18, it could also come under POXO. The other there will be other sections also. Particularly, I'm not sure that any of these women consented to being videographed while in the act. So even if they consented to the sexual act, but they did not consent to the video, that itself would constitute a separate crime. All these are now matters of investigation. I do not presume to instruct the investigating officers, but no doubt they will go about identifying each incident, the timeline, the woman concerned, and then possibly check whether the woman would want to file a complaint now officially or not. There is nothing which today, based on today, can be said in defense. See, this is straight out either rape, which is sex without consent, or it could be in some cases use of the use of your dominance. Supposing you are the employer and you obtain some kind of consent, even that consent would be due to fear of your service, or if it was a government servant who wanted possibly a transfer, possibly an appointment, then again it would be consensual sex, but the consent would have been taken under false promises.
And so, it takes us to two sets of questions. What can happen from a police perspective? What can happen from a political perspective? I wish Ujjwal Deepak, he just vanished. I think he lost his line. He had been warning us that an electricity outage was taking place. But Shubhrashtra, too often when we talk about crimes against women, we get caught in a political competitiveness. And that is why here I have not quoted the Congress today. I have repeatedly quoted a letter written by a upright BJP politician who has said to his boss, please don't give this person a ticket, right? And you have to ask today, why was this person given a ticket? He's not even a regular politician. He's a former prime minister's son. He's extremely powerful. Shubhrashtra, please do respond what you're feeling and thinking as you hear this, and you're muted at your end. There you are. Go ahead.
Uh, Barkha, I'm very clear on this issue. On issues like this, one has to move beyond one's political leanings, one ideological affiliation. What has happened is shameless, to say the least. And as you rightly said, we have to be very careful about the choice of words that we have when we discuss this case. Um, Now I understand that when you are in an alliance with somebody, there are certain compulsions, but no compulsion should actually allow the hands of a rapist to be strengthened and in this manner. uh, I don't know what the protocol is with respect to the election commission right now, but clearly this is not a person who any one of us would like to see in parliament. He's not a person who should be allowed to be in public life also. Forget about being in parliament and fighting even an assembly election. Such people should not be in politics. Point blank. And there is, if there are the various acts in the parliament that talk about the conduct of MPs and that talk about representatives, etc. If need be, we should change those acts. I'm sure with the kind of majority that the BJP has and the BJP is claiming to have in future, there are fundamental things that we can change about the quality of our MPs also. For how long in this country will democracy be reduced to just representation? So at some point in time, we have to begin talking about quality of representation as well. Um, Under no circumstance, and I don't think anybody with a sane mind would endorse the candidature, the kind of or the kind of political future that Revanna can would want to have or should be allowed to have. But I think this is a point where he should be asked quite strictly to move out of public life forever.
Well, thank you for being so blunt, because I know that otherwise, you would be slotted as a BJP supporter. But today you're saying you don't care who supports what party. You're saying such a man has no business being in politics or in public life. And are you disappointed that the BJP, being alert to this, consented for its alliance partner to get this seat? They could have
I
said
am
no, nothing
disappointed.
doing.
No, no, I am disappointed for a number of reasons. I'm disappointed with the fact, and it's a lot. I mean, it will open up a larger question, Barkha. The kind of compulsions that any and every political party has to go through when you talk about alliances. If it was a BJP, and by the way, there is a report which says that there's a media report which says that apparently Amit Shahji sent a recommendation to not to desist Revanna from contesting an election, but JDS pressured the BJP into doing that. But whatever be it, my problem is with the kind of compromises that alliances bring. Look, it is okay to have compromises like, oh, well, I believe in strengthening the poor in this way. I believe in this policy. Your policy mandate clearly is in conflict with my ideological leaning. All these kind of political discussions are healthy. But when alliances, when on an alliance table, you begin talking about such cheap people and their cheapest of political ambitions, I think that's a problem. I think that's a problem that all of us as young Indians should have. And I wholeheartedly appeal to anybody who is going to form the government, the next government. Please, when the parliament is in session, please bring some concrete changes in the act to have more quality people's representatives. I think India has really moved beyond talking about representation just in terms of numbers. I know it is controversial. I know there's a question of reservation. I'm not saying it's a level playing field, but please let's see what kind of people are we electing into Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha, of course.
Let me bring in Azad now before I come back to Dr. Nagalakshmi for a little more details of the case. Mr. Azad, the point you've made on Twitter is a lot can still happen. This man doesn't have to go scot-free. Go ahead.
Well, let me start by strongly supporting what Shubhrashtra has said, that this man, this depraved monster, does not have any place in public life anymore. That will be one of the biggest punishment to this guy and the Gowda family, which has promoted him. Number two, a very serious question has been raised, Barkha. The question is that if a BJP leader wrote this already, that this man should not be given a ticket because we may be, we may be called as supporter of the rapist, it means that this was in the knowledge of people before. And if it was in the knowledge of people before, I don't know when Dr. Chaudhary got that complaint, how has this man escaped? This is a very, very important part of investigation, which means that there are certain other people which have facilitated the escape. Now, third, my friend Mr. Hegde has pointed out a lot of things already before, which I don't need to repeat now because he's clarified, with consent, without consent, rapes. But, the important thing here is that an FIR has already been registered under sections like 354B, which carries a sentence of 3 to 7 years. So the crime which he is being accused of are grave. I mean, everything is there. Sexual blackmail is there, extortion is there, assault is there, without permission, filming is there. There's nothing left in that particular case. Now, my next point is that if this has happened and this is such an important case, then why now no BJP leader has given any statement? Neither Nirmala Sitharamanji or Smriti Irani-ji. Someone should support the case of these women. And one point more, in fact, in this particular case, it is the CBI's job to send to Interpol immediately that this man is under this particular section. The case has already been registered. He should be immediately apprehended where he is, and then he should be sent back. So these are the things which need to be done immediately. I'm really horrified. My last point, I'm really horrified for one thing. It is shocking, Barkha, that even in this age, so many women have been exploited, tortured, and done all kinds of things, and nobody came to the police station. At least when this government comes, some people would have come to get a case registered, and this man gets a ticket and also fights, and maybe this fellow even wins.